Well, hello there. Welcome back to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. Well, it's that time of the month again. It is, as of the time of recording this video, July the 15th, and that means that it's time for Criterion Collection Announcement. So the Criterion Collection earlier today, I think around 12:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, announced the titles that they're going to be releasing on Blu-ray in October 2021. So I'm always excited to get Criterion's new announcements for the upcoming months, especially those months that are leading up to a future Barnes & Noble sale. So of course, these are the titles that are coming out in October 2021 in time for what we anticipate being the November Barnes & Noble Amazon 50% off sale. So definitely exciting to get these titles. And we're getting 6 new Blu-ray releases from Criterion in October 2021. So a big month. It's a month full of discoveries for me. So I have not seen these films, so I'm looking forward to discovering these new films. We've got a couple of Blu-ray upgrades in the mix here, and we've got 3 new directors who are coming into the collection. So that's always exciting to get new filmmakers, new blood into the collection, so I love that. And I really love the eclectic mix of these films for the October 2021 slate. I think Criterion usually does a really good job of having a nice mix of films that they present to us each month, and October 2021 just falls right in line with that. So we've got a film from medieval Japan, 1970s Scotland, atomic age sci-fi, 19th century India, a 1940s Hollywood film noir featuring a legendary Hollywood actor, and a contemporary film featuring Adam Sandler in what is widely considered to be his best performance to date. So this looks like a pretty nice lineup from Criterion that I'm looking forward to talking about here. And we also get Spine number 1100 in October 2021. So without any further ado, let's jump right into these October 2021 titles. All right, so for the month of October, we're getting 6 new Blu-ray releases from Criterion. We're getting one on Tuesday, October the 5th, another title coming out on Tuesday, October the 12th, and then we're getting 2 titles on Tuesday, October 19th, and Tuesday, October 26th. We're getting 2 more titles to round out the month of 6 titles. So it all starts on Tuesday, October the 5th, from a director who has titles already in the Criterion Collection, Kaneto Shindo. This is a 1964 film from Japanese director Kaneto Shindo, and it's called Onibaba. So this is a really interesting film. I read the description earlier, and I'll read it now from the Criterion site. It says, deep in the windswept marshes of war-torn medieval Japan, an impoverished older woman and her daughter-in-law murder lost samurai and sell their belongings for the most meager of sustenance. When a bedraggled neighbor returns from battle, lust, jealousy, and rage threaten to destroy the trio's tenuous existence before an ominous, ill-gotten demon mask seals their horrifying fate. Driven by primal emotions, dark eroticism, a frenzied score by Hikaru Hayashi, and stunning images both lyrical and macabre, the chilling folktale Onibaba by Kaneto Shindo conjures a nightmarish vision of humankind's deepest desires and impulses. So this sounds like a really fascinating title from Kaneto Shindo. Of course, Kaneto Shindo has a couple of other titles in the collection, including The Naked Island, which is excellent. I happen to have that edition from the Criterion Collection, and that comes in at Spine number 811. It's a film from 1960. And he also has a title from 1968 called Koroneko, which I have not seen. That one is Spine number 584 in the collection. So let me know in the comments below if you've seen either of those titles and what you think about them. Particularly Koroneko. I'm really interested to know what people think about that title from Kaneto Shindo. So let me know that in the comments below. So this title here, Onibaba, that's coming out on October the 5th, looks really interesting, and it has a pretty interesting cover, which I think plays into the story, the whole demon mask thing. And I put it up on the screen, but you can see here the mask. Hopefully you're able to see this, but yeah, this looks like a really interesting cover here, which I think Criterion's done a really nice job of covers lately, as they always do. But this looks like a fascinating title. It's one that I'm trying to decide if I want to go for it as part of the November Barnes & Noble sale, or if it's something that will wait for a future sale. So it's sort of in that category of maybe for me. Now, when I look at the special features, this does feature a restored HD transfer. So we get on the Blu-ray a restored high definition transfer with uncompressed mono soundtrack. We do get a commentary on here from 2001, which I suspect is probably the commentary from the original DVD edition. This is one of the 2 Blu-ray upgrades this month. This is an upgrade of spine number 226 in the collection. And so I suspect that this is the same commentary that appeared on that edition. And then you've got an interview from 2003 with Shindo. You've got on location footage shot by Sato, and don't really see anything else in the way of new supplements. So if you happen to have the original DVD of this, that's sort of a decision that you may have to make as to whether or not you want to upgrade to this new edition for the new high definition transfer or not. But this is coming out on October the 5th, and it's called Onibaba from director Kaneto Shindo. Okay, so the following week on Tuesday, October the 12th, we're getting another title coming out from the Criterion Collection, and this is from a director who will be new in the Criterion Collection, and it is a film from director Raoul Walsh, who is coming in new to the collection this year for Criterion. And it's a film starring a legendary Hollywood actor, Humphrey Bogart, and it's called High Sierra. And this is a film from 1941, and this looks like a really fascinating title. So High Sierra is a 1941 film directed by Raoul Walsh, starring Humphrey Bogart and Ida Lupino. And I'll read the description from the Criterion site. It says, marking the moment when the gritty gangster sagas of the 1930s began giving way to the romantic fatalism of the 1940s film noir, High Sierra also contains the star-making performance of Humphrey Bogart, who, alongside top-billed Ida Lupino, proved his leading man mettle with his tough yet tender turn as Roy Earl. A career criminal plagued by his checkered past, Earl longs for a simpler life. But after getting sprung on parole, he falls in with a band of thieves for one last heist in the Sierra Nevada. How many times have we heard stories about a criminal who's trying to get out and they get pulled in for one last job? So this sounds like a similar type tale here. Directed with characteristic punch by Raoul Walsh, who makes the most of the vertiginous mountain location, Roy and Lupino's Marie, a fellow outcast also desperate to escape her past, hurtle inexorably toward an unforgettable cliffside climax and a rendezvous with destiny. So this is one of the titles that I'm most interested in for the month of October 2021, largely because it stars Humphrey Bogart, and I have the edition from Criterion, Spy number 810, In a Lonely Place, that stars Humphrey Bogart, which is a film from 1950, so about 9 years after this film came out, when Bogart was a little bit more established in Hollywood. That's an excellent film and a fantastic performance by Humphrey Bogart that I highly recommend. If you haven't checked out In a Lonely Place, definitely check that one out. But that makes me interested in this film, High Sierra. I'm definitely looking forward to picking this one out in the month of November. And of course, it has Humphrey Bogart and Ida Lupino. And overall, I'm really fascinated by this particular title and looking forward to checking it out. Another thing that really fascinates me is the supplements on this edition, because this looks to be a pretty stacked edition from Criterion. You have a new restored 4K digital transfer with an uncompressed monaural soundtrack on the Blu-ray, Colorado Territory, which is director Raoul Walsh's 1949 Western remake of High Sierra, which is interesting. You have a new conversation on Walsh between film programmer Dave Kerr and critic Farron Smith-Ning. And then you've got The True Adventures of Raoul Walsh, a 2019 documentary by Marilyn Ann Moss. You've got Curtains for Roy Earl, a 2003 featurette on the making of High Sierra. You've got Bogart Here's Looking at You, Kid, a 1997 documentary aired at the South Bank Show. New interview with film and media historian Miriam Petty and actor Willie Best. You got a new video essay, a radio adaptation of High Sierra. So it looks to be a very stacked edition from Criterion. Of course, you've got that nice new restored 4K digital transfer. Always love seeing that. Of course, I'm seeing the term new restored 4K digital transfer. I'm trying to figure out, is there a distinction between that and a new 4K restoration, or are they really the same thing but just described differently? If you happen to have some insight into that, let us know in the comments below what you think about that. But this looks like a really stacked edition from Criterion, and I am really looking forward to this one, largely because, of course, it has Humphrey Bogart in here. I love his acting. I think he's was a fantastic actor in Hollywood's golden age. And I love him in A Lonely Place, and I suspect that I will love him in this movie as well. This is an earlier performance for him. Of course, Ida Lupino was the top billed actor at the time that this movie came out. So I think this will be really interesting to see Humphrey Bogart in a breakout performance for him. So this is High Sierra, the 1941 film directed by Raoul Walsh, and it's coming out from Criterion on Tuesday, October the 12th. All right, moving right along, we've got two titles in the books now, one coming out on October the 5th, one coming out on October the 12th, and then we follow that up with 2 more weeks in October where we've got 2 titles coming out each week. Starting with October the 19th, we've got 2 titles coming out. Coming in first on Tuesday, October the 19th is a title that is new to the Criterion Collection, and it's coming in at spine number 1100, and it is 1957's The Incredible Shrinking Man, directed by Jack Arnold. This is also Jack Arnold's first feature in the Criterion Collection, so Jack Arnold is new to the collection with this title. And this is a film from 1957 as part of that atomic age sci-fi that I mentioned before, and I'm really fascinated by this title, so I'll read the description real quickly here. It says, existentialism goes pop in this benchmark of atomic age science fiction, a superlative adaptation of a novel by the legendary Richard Matheson that has awed and unnerved generations of viewers with the question, what is humanity's place amid the infinity of the universe? That's a good question. 6 months after being exposed to a mysterious radiation cloud, suburban everyman Scott Carey, Grant Williams, finds himself becoming smaller and smaller and smaller until he's left to fend for himself in a world in which ordinary cats, mousetraps, and spiders pose a mortal threat, all while grappling with a diminishing sense of himself. Directed by the prolific creature feature impresario Jack Arnold, with ingenious optical effects and a transcendent metaphysical ending, that sounds intriguing, The Incredible Shrinking Man gazes with wonder and trepidation into the unknowable vastness of the cosmic void. So this is a film from 1957. It's from the United States. It's from director Jack Arnold. And this film definitely intrigues me. I've never seen this film before, so this will be a new discovery for me, and it's definitely fascinating. Let me know in the comments if you've seen The Incredible Shrinking Man, and if so, what you think about it. But this is one of the titles that I'm also very interested in. It's coming in at spine number 1100, and this one also seems to have some really nice special features. So for spine 1100, we're getting a new 4K digital restoration with uncompressed monaural soundtrack on the Blu-ray. We're getting a commentary on here. I love getting commentaries on discs, and we're getting a commentary here. We're also getting a new program on the special effects, those optical effects that they mentioned in the description, by effects expert Craig Barron and Ben Burt. I love Craig Barron's breakdown of special effects of older films. I believe he did, if I remember correctly, I think he did a breakdown of the special effects of one of the Chaplin films. I forget which one it was, but he did a really nice job of breaking down the way that Charlie Chaplin at the time did the special effects for that movie using camera effects. So I'm really expecting good things from that feature. A new conversation between filmmaker Joe Dante and comedian and writer Dana Gould. You also have interviews with Jack Arnold from 1983, an interview from 2016 with Richard Christian Matheson, who's the novelist and screenwriter Richard Matheson's son. And then, interestingly enough, you get on here an 8mm home cinema version of this film from 1957. So definitely want to check that out and see what that's about. And you get trailers and teasers, and you get a narration by Orson Welles on here, which is interesting. And then you get an essay by critic Jeffrey O'Brien. So looks to be a pretty nice addition from the Criterion Collection for Spine number 1100, The Incredible Shrinking Man. So looking forward to checking this one out. So this is one of 2 titles coming out on Tuesday, October the 19th. Now the second title that's coming out on Tuesday the 19th is a title that is the second Blu-ray upgrade that is coming in October. And it is coming out Tuesday, October 19th. It's from director Lynn Ramsey. And it's an upgrade of Spine number 162 in the Criterion Collection, and it's called Ratcatcher. And it has a really interesting cover. Check this cover out. That is a interesting looking cover, isn't it? If you can see this. But yeah, it's called Ratcatcher by Lynn Ramsey. And it's a film from 1999. It's from the UK. So this is in her breathtaking and assured debut feature. So this is her first feature film. Lynn Ramsey creates a haunting evocation of a troubled Glasgow childhood. Set during Scotland's national garbage strike of the mid-1970s, Ratcatcher explores the experiences of a poor adolescent boy as he struggles to reconcile his dreams and his guilt with the abjection that surrounds him. Utilizing beautiful, elusive imagery, candid performances, and unexpected humor, Ramsey deftly contrasts urban decay with a rich interior landscape of hope and perseverance, resulting in a work at once raw and deeply poetic. So this is a really interesting film, and again, it's part of that eclectic mix of films that we're getting this month. This is a film from 1970s UK, from Glasgow, Scotland. It's a really gritty sounding film that deals with, young life and the life of young adults. And that's, I think, Lynn Ramsey's specialty, is those types of films and dealing with loss and grief experienced by young people. So this looks like a really fascinating title from her that I'm looking forward to checking out. It is, again, a Blu-ray upgrade. So this title is already in the Criterion Collection. And let me take a quick look at the special features on here. You do get a new 4K digital restoration, and we're getting a 2.0 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. So getting a surround audio for this one in addition to the 4K restoration. So that sounds really, really awesome. We get a new interview with director Lynn Ramsey. So that's new to this Blu-ray edition. And we also get an audio interview from 2020 with Kukler. That's the cinematographer, Kukler. So that's on the Blu-ray, an audio interview from the cinematographer. And then one of the things that interests me about this release is we're getting 3 award-winning short films by Ramsey. So I always love it when they include short films from the director on these releases. So we're getting Small Deaths from 1995, Kill the Day from 1996, and Gas Man from 1997. We're getting an older interview from Ramsey from 2002, and then stills, gallery, essays, trailers. So that sounds like a pretty nice edition, not a stacked edition by any means, but we do get some nice features on here, including that restoration and that surround track on the audio, a couple of nice sounding interviews, and those short films. So this looks like a pretty interesting addition from Criterion. Again, it's a Blu-ray upgrade of Spine number 162 in the Criterion Collection. It's from director Lynn Ramsey, and it's called Ratcatcher from 1999. It's coming out on Tuesday, October the 19th. All right, to round out the month of October, we're getting 2 more titles in the month of October to complete the month of 6 titles from the Criterion Collection. And these are 2 titles that I think are really, really interesting. The first being a title coming out on Tuesday, October the 26th, and it's called Uncut Gems. This is a film that stars Adam Sandler in what is considered to be his best performance. And this is going to come in at spine number 1101 in the Criterion Collection. And this is from directors Josh Safdie and Benny Safdie. And they are new directors in the Criterion Collection with this edition. And so I haven't seen Uncut Gems yet. I've heard a lot about it. I've heard it's a pretty good film. And let me know in the comments below if you've seen Uncut Gems, and if so, what you think about it and what you think about Adam Sandler's performance. So definitely look forward to hearing your thoughts on that. But I'll read the description here. It says, this jolt of pure cinematic adrenaline affirmed directors Josh and Benny Safdie as heirs to the gritty, heightened realism of Martin Scorsese and John Cassavetes. Adam Sandler delivers an almost maniacally embodied performance as Howard Ratner, a fast-talking New York jeweler in relentless pursuit of the next big score. When he comes into possession of a rare opal, it seems Howard's ship has finally come in. As long as he can stay one step ahead of a wife, Idina Menzel, who hates him, a mistress, Julia Fox, who can't quit him, and a frenzy of loan sharks and hitmen closing in on him. Wrapping a vivid look at the old-school Jewish world of Manhattan's Diamond District within a kinetic thriller, Uncut Gems gives us one of the great characters in modern cinema, a tragic hero of competing compulsions on a shoot-the-moon quest to transcend his destiny. Wow, so that sounds like a lot going on there, and sounds like a lot of fascinating material that Adam Sandler was able to chew on in this particular film. And I'm really interested and intrigued to see his performance, because I'm so used to him playing in these comedic roles. So to see him take on this type of a dramatic performance is something that I find pretty fascinating. So I definitely look forward to checking this one out and seeing his performance on this one. So this should be really interesting. This is one of the titles that I'm interested in picking up the most for October 2021. I'll probably pick it up in the November Barnes & Noble sale, but this title sounds pretty fascinating to me. Let me know in the comments below if you also share interest in this particular film. So we're getting a 4K digital transfer with Dolby Atmos soundtrack on the Blu-ray. So definitely take note of that if you have an Atmos setup. So that sounds awesome. We're getting an audio commentary on this edition as well. So that's awesome. And that's from 2019, featuring writer-directors Josh Safdie and Benny Safdie, and writer and editor Ronald Bronstein, and producer Sebastian Beer McLard. So that sounds interesting. You get some new interviews with the cinematographer, the costume designer, and the casting director. You get a couple of documentaries on here from 2019 and 2020 on the making of the film and the soundtrack. Screen tests with actors Adam Sandler and Julia Fox. You get a short film on here from 2020 and a Q&A from 2020 short film. And that features the director Safdie's, Sandler, actor Jason Bateman, and comedy writer Megan Amram. You get some deleted and extended scenes. You get a trailer and an essay. So sounds like a really nice addition from Criterion. I love the fact that you're getting that nice 4K transfer, that Dolby Atmos soundtrack. You're getting a commentary on here, getting a couple of documentaries. So this looks like a really nice addition from Criterion. So I'm definitely looking forward to picking up Uncut Gems. It's coming in at spine number 1101 in the collection, and it's coming out on Tuesday, October the 26th. All right, last but not least is another title coming out on Tuesday, October the 26th, and this is from a director who is no stranger to the Criterion Collection. It's from famous Indian director Satyajit Ray, and this is a film that is coming out on Tuesday, October the 26th, and it is from 1960, and it's called Devi. So this is coming in at spine number 1102 in the collection, and I love the cover for this edition. So check out that cover. It's a nice cover. Pretty decent covers this month. I would say that the covers for last month, for September, were epic covers. I think the covers for October this month are pretty good, but I thought last month's September covers were just fantastic. But I really like this cover for this film here, Devi. It is from 1960. And this is the 19th century period piece from India that I mentioned at the top. And it's a pretty fascinating sounding film. So I'll read the description here of Devi. This is master filmmaker Satyajit Ray explores the conflict between fanaticism and free will in Devi, the goddess, issuing a subversively modern challenge to religious orthodoxy and patriarchal power structures in the waning days of mid-19th century India's feudal system after his son Sumitra Chatterjee leaves for Kolkata to complete his studies. A wealthy rural landowner, Chabal Biswas, is seized by the notion that his beloved daughter-in-law, a hauntingly sad-eyed Sharmila Tagore, is the reincarnation of the goddess Kali, a delusion that proves devastating to the young woman and those around her. I presume that that is the character on the cover here. That's my presumption. I think that's a pretty safe assumption. The opulently stylized compositions and the chiaroscuro lighting by cinematographer Subrata Mitra heighten the entrancing and expressionistic intensity of this domestic tragedy, making for an experience that is both sublime and shattering. So this sounds like a pretty interesting title from director Satyajit Ray, and it's one that I look forward to checking out. I'm not sure if I'm going to check this one out as part of the November Barnes & Noble sale. I'm not sure if I will get it as soon as that, but it's definitely one that I have on the radar to check out at some point. Of course, I love the works of Satyajit Ray that I've experienced so far. I have the Apu trilogy from the Criterion Collection, which has that trio of films from Satyajit Ray that are just absolutely fantastic films that are just beautiful, devastating, personal stories of the life of this man growing up named Apu and his trials and tribulations that he experienced in his life. Just a fantastic trilogy of stories from him. So I love the Apu trilogy. If you don't happen to have that edition from Criterion, you definitely want to consider checking that one out. And then I also love a film from him called The Hero, which I thought was a really, really good film. Part of what I love about that film is that it's a train movie, and I happen to love train movies. So any movie that takes place on a train, I'm definitely down for that. So I love a good train film. So The Hero is really good from Satyajit Ray, and there's several other titles in the collection from this famous director. So I definitely encourage you to check those out. But this is Devi that is coming out on Tuesday, October the 26th. And it sounds like a pretty fascinating one. So let me look at the special features here real quickly. You know, very quick look at the special features. It looks to be pretty light. You do get a new 4K digital restoration with an uncompressed monaural soundtrack on the Blu-ray, so that sounds great. You do get a new program featuring interviews with actors Sharmila Tagore and Sumitra Chatterjee that was recorded in 2013. And you get a video essay from a film scholar, Maheli Sin, so that's great. And then you get an essay that's included in the pamphlet that'll be on the inside. So pretty light edition from a special feature standpoint. You do get a new 4K digital restoration, which is always nice. You do get a video essay, and you do get a program with some of the actors. So they do include some special features in this release, but it's not packed by any means. But this is Devi. It is coming out from the Criterion Collection on Tuesday, October the 26th from director Satyajit Ray. This is a film from 1960, and it sounds like a pretty fascinating one. So that's one I'm considering checking out. All right, so there you have it. So it sounds like October 2021 is shaping up to be a pretty interesting month. And I'm really looking forward to checking out these titles. I would say that overall, I'm a little bit more excited for the previous month's releases for September. I want to get all 5 of those titles as soon as I can. I'll wait till the November sale, but all 5 of those titles, including the Melvin Van Peebles set, are absolute musts for me by the November Barnes & Noble sale. For this particular month though, I'm really focused on probably 3 to 4 of these films at least. And the ones that interest me the most would be High Sierra, the Humphrey Bogart film, The Incredible Shrinking Man, Spy Number 1100, Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler, and Devi. So those are the 4 that I think I'm interested in, but the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking I might actually switch out Devi with Ratcatcher. So I'm still sort of noodling some of these titles, but I'm not 100% all in on all of these titles just yet, but I definitely want to pick up at least 3 or 4 of these. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think about these titles? Are you interested in picking up any of these titles that are coming up in October? Are you looking to pick up any of these titles maybe in the November Barnes & Noble sale? Let me know that in the comments below. Also, let me know, I know we're still in the midst of the July Barnes & Noble Criterion Collection sale. Let me know what titles you're picking up during the current sale here in July 2021, and what titles you're watching and what is exciting you the most about this month's releases and the films that you've picked up as part of the current Barnes & Noble sale. Let me know that in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Peace.